Obviously disappointed with results. My expectations were way higher. Not disappointed with the effort. Not disappointed with how these guys approached it. I thought their effort was really good. Just disappointed in the result. We were unable to make some shots, but obviously disappointed with the result.
Okay, we're going to go with questions for the players before we come back to Coach. Right here.
Jesse Crittenden, OU Insider. Tanner, Coach mentioned it, or Porter mentioned it, that the effort was there, but the shots just weren't falling today. How much was that maybe their defense or their length, or how much was it just shots weren't falling today?
Man, I think it was 100% just shots didn't fall, to be honest. I mean, the coaches gave us a great game plan. I thought we stuck to it really well. I mean, they only scored 57 points. I mean, that's pretty good defense. It really just comes down to shots. I mean, 14 of 56 as a team. It's not gonna win you a game. But I mean, I'm happy with our effort. I thought that the effort was there. Regardless of makes and misses, I thought that we were fighting to the end, and I'm proud of that. So I say that.
Eli Letterman, Tulsa World. Tanner, it's 3 times you guys have seen them, and 3 times they've really gone after you guys inside. What has made them, we know the length and the size, but what's made them such a uniquely tough matchup for you guys in the paint?
I just think length and athleticism, really. I mean, I thought we did a lot better this time. This time around, we held most of their guys, most of their bigs. I know they got a lot of rebounds and whatnot, but I don't know. I don't really know.
Justin Martinez, the Oklahoma and Grant. A similar question that was asked for Tanner, but just what did OSU do to make it difficult for you tonight? And just were you happy with your looks and they just weren't falling? Just how did that play out for you?
I kind of know what I'm getting into now, going in every game. So I mean, they're a good defensive team, but I just feel like at the end of the day, I just didn't make shots. I mean, that's on me at the end of the day.
Grant, just a follow on that. Did you identify any differences in how they defended you tonight? Obviously, Avery Anderson was there the previous 2 games, but were there differences or was it the same approach?
I mean, it was the same approach. I mean, we do a good job of our coaches do a good job of giving us a scout and just we're following everything. So I mean, I was prepared. I just feel like I didn't show up today. Disappointed in that. Yeah.
Barry Trammell with the Oklahoma and Tanner. 2 years ago, you come to OU. What were your expectations when you came? And now how do you look back on your career as it's coming to an end?
My expectations were just to compete and have fun and at an incredible university in the best conference in the nation. And I'll forever be grateful for the experience. Coach has given me an opportunity to get to play here, showcase my talents, and regardless of wins and losses, I think it's more about the relationships you form and the people you meet along the way, man. Like we were talking about in the locker room and even on the team bus, like last couple days. Regardless of how many wins and losses we've had this year, this has been one of the most fun teams I've been a part of just because of how together we are off the court, always doing stuff together. And, so I think that's a big part of it is just, the relationships you form and the people you meet. That's been huge for me.
Let's go to the photo deck in the back.
Holden Kruzmark, Oklahoma's News 4. For both of you, I mean, you both walked at senior day knowing that this could possibly be the last time you wore an Oklahoma jersey. What are you feeling right now?
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously disappointing to go out this way, but I mean, I'm just honestly feeling grateful. Like that's really all that comes to mind. It's just how grateful I am for the opportunity to get to play here, man. It's been an incredible experience, and I mean, it's going to be like some of the like especially this year. I mean, we had some great wins, and just those are going to be memories that stick with me for the rest of my life, and so I'll forever be grateful for that.
Yeah, I mean, Tanner said it best. I mean, yeah, I'm just grateful. I mean, just this 3rd program I've been to, so I mean, just being a part of this program, I mean, it's brought the joy back to the game for me for sure. I mean, just having teammates like Tanner and Jalen to lean on, our young guys, bringing fun back to the game for me. So I mean, I'm just grateful. I'm just really happy to be a part of this program. And yeah, I wouldn't change anything.
Two more for the players, and first one will be right here.
Brian Brinkley, KFOR TV. Grant, kind of a follow-up to that, the same question Barry asked Tanner. What were your expectations coming to OU, and how will you look back at this one season as a Sooner?
I mean, my expectations were definitely to get to March Madness, and win some games in advance, but, it didn't happen. And, I can't hang my head. I can't hang my head on it, I got to say. I formed so many great relationships on this team. Like I said, before even coming here, I didn't even know how I felt about basketball, but, this team just brought the joy back, the joy of the game back for me, and I'm just grateful for that. I'm actually happy back. I'm happy to be playing basketball, so, I just wouldn't change that for anything.
One more question for the players. On the photo deck in the back.
Yeah, Tanner, Chris Williams, News 9 Oklahoma City. When you think of guys like Lawson, Otega-Owe, the young guys, what do you hope that you can leave them with for them to be able to take this program where you guys want it to be?
Just how competitive you got to be. They understand, especially after this year, they understand how every game is so crucial. We lost a lot of games this season that were just, within one to two possessions. And so now I think that after this season, they'll understand just how crucial those little wins are, that, you could easily flip the switch. And especially looking at our season, you could flip the switch on 4 or 5 games, and we'd be in the March Madness picture right now. And so that's just huge. For those guys, but just looking especially what they brought to the table this year. I'm so proud of those guys. I just think that they compete their asses off, and it's been great playing with those guys.
Okay, we're going to excuse the players to their locker room, and media is welcome there. We'll continue with questions for Coach Moser. Let's go right here.
Good job, Grant.
Porter, Barry Trammell with the Oklahoman, similar to what I asked Tanner. You brought him in 2 years ago. He gave you 2 good years. What are you going to remember about his 2 years at Oklahoma?
I'm going to remember just in unprecedented times, sight unseen, hadn't met him, he never saw the campus, and he said he wanted to come to Oklahoma. And he's given everything he's had since the day he walked in our campus. So that's what I remember about Tanner Groves. You can just see he's just got this positive outlook about things, and he gave everything he had in unprecedented times. He said, "I want to come to Oklahoma," and his team had 3 teammates on it at the time, and he'd never seen the campus, and he never met me or my staff. So just an incredible faith and a belief. He believed in what we were going to do, and I think we fulfilled a lot of things for him, except you asked about expectations. My expectations was getting the tournament. My expectations is to take this program and be at a high level, and we didn't do that. We're not yet, and we got to be better. But my expectations are to do it with guys like you just heard. You just heard some high character guys that talk about the way the locker room is, the way they are around each other. That's my expectation, to have a program where they're all pulling for each other. But to go along with that, my expectation is to win. And there we fell short.
Let's go right here, and then we'll go to the back.
Jesse Crittenden, OU Insider. Porter, you alluded to it earlier, that the effort was there, but the shots just weren't falling. Maybe what does that say about the team, or despite having one of the toughest offensive outputs of the season, that you guys were able to keep that close until the end?
Yeah, I thought they fought. I thought the last 3 days, from the moment we got paired up, they were. They knew how hard they prepared for this, how hard they played, defended. We just weren't good enough, offensively. And I tend to think it's both. I know those two humbly put it on themselves and said they didn't make shots, and we didn't. We had a lot of good shots, but you also got to give them credit. They're an elite defensive team. Their length, their speed to make up when you do have an open shot, there's speed to close that gap to how long it's open. So they're humble. We did miss some good shots, but you got to give credit where credit is due. They're an elite defensive team.
Go back here.
Yeah, it's Chuck Culpepper from the Washington Post. Can you describe what it was like to play in this league this year?
It was something that, obviously the statements of every night. I mean, there's no bottom to the league. Here we're at Wednesday night, the play-in game, and you had one team beat the ACC champion by 30. You had another team beat the SEC champion by 20, and we're in the play-in game. It's something that the physicality, the talent level, the teams, there's just no bottom. There's no nights off, and it's unprecedented. This year.
Do we have a question right here?
Brian Brinkley, KFOR TV. Coach, at various times during the year in Tanner referred to it, all the close losses. You talked about it was just inches. Where do you think you need to be better going forward in the coming years to make up those inches and turn those into wins?
Yeah, we're going to address that this spring. We need to be better. I think we need to improve our shooting. I think we need to improve our length and athleticism in this league. The length. We need to get old and stay old. I think we're the only team that started 2 freshmen. So those are 2 guys that logged in a lot of minutes. We got to keep developing those guys. We got to get better at development. But I think we got to increase our length, athleticism, shooting to start with there, and that'll start this spring recruiting. I think we've got to be better. Continue to be better offensively. When I look at it, we're going to have a complete breakdown. What we can do better offensively, what we can do better defensively. I do that every year, but I know we're going to really address length, athleticism, shooting in the off season.
Okay, we got 4 questions left, starting right here, and then we'll come to the front row.
Eli Letterman, Tulsa World. Porter, you talk about expectations, and you've spoken a lot about your vision. Where this year, if you can think about it now, just off the court, where did you take the steps? Where did you see the steps taken toward that bigger vision during this season?
I felt we expected to win every game. I don't think even as daunting as our schedule was, it was like, all right, we just played Texas, now we got to play Kansas. As daunting as the schedule was, I thought they believed they could win every game. I thought they could believe they could win, and we competed with some of the best teams in the country, in some of the best venues in the country, Kansas, Texas, and we were right, but we fell short. So I thought we took steps, and I really feel like behind the scenes, the prep, they believed we got to get better. We got to get better. Starts with me, starts with the development, starts with recruiting, in a lot of areas, but we got to get better. But I thought there were. I was talking to two TV analysts about it, saying, we got, I think, 5 ranked wins or 6, and we finished tied for last. And so there were moments, but we got to be more consistent to get over those humps with some of the best teams in the country, and we will.
Let's come here to the front row.
Coach, I don't know what the rules are around the NIT. You're 2 games under 500. Yet the NIT came to you Sunday night and said, we think you're one of the 32 best remaining teams in the country. Would you take the invite and keep playing? I
always like to compete. That's in my blood. I'm going to compete. It's not, so I want, I don't want to stop coaching Tanner Groves if the opportunity. So my mind hasn't been there yet, so I got to process that. But I know just the way I'm wired, I just love to compete.
Okay, our last 2 questions. First one's on the...
Chris Williams, News 9 Oklahoma City. Coach, we've been talking so much about belief the last 3 weeks. How important is it, and how do you instill that belief in the guys coming back in recruits through this offseason after a disappointing season? Well,
there's a ton of unbelievable things to sell about the University of Oklahoma. We're at the University of Oklahoma. We got to continue to recruit. I thought the two freshmen that we had, there were two ESPN top 75 guys. They got thrown into the fire. Played a ton of minutes as freshmen and got better. We got to develop those guys. We got to develop and recruit, bring the guys in. We got to get better at the roster building. We got to get better at all this development this summer. We got to get stronger. We've got to get better at our atmospheres. We got to get better at a lot of different things. So, but to sell it, we're at the University of Oklahoma. We got a lot of great things. I'm disappointed with the outcome, disappointed results, but I'm not one iota, stumbling. We're gonna my momentum of where we're gonna go. To sell the belief of where we're going with that, I've never had a problem with that. I know how my passion is where we're going. Disappointed, but not detracted.
Last question here on row 4.
Justin Martinez, the Oklahoma Porter Grant had mentioned how he had lost his passion for the game before coming here. Just what do you remember?
I'm sorry, what did you say, Jesse?
That Grant had talked about how he had lost his passion for the game before coming here. Just what do you remember about how transparent he was, about where his head was at during the recruiting process, and to hear him say that this is where he found that passion again? What does that mean to you?
Well, like I said, about expectations. I expect to put together a program where the guys are pulling for each other. They love it's a family atmosphere, but coinciding with winning. That's what I've done before. And but the fact that he's been impacted. I mean, in the world of all the stuff going on, you still got to be, the main thing has got to be the main thing, and the main thing are the student athletes. And for him to say that, that's humbling. That he was impacted. He found the love of basketball. So I know we're trending in the right direction of how we're building that. But we're also got to trend into where my expectations are to win.
For more information, you can visit TulsaWorld.com.